Even before we know what money is, it's all around us. As kids, we see our parents swiping cards, maybe arguing over bills, or celebrating a paycheck. These moments, long before we ever see a spreadsheet, teach us our first emotional lessons about money. Is it a source of safety or scarcity? Power or shame? These early feelings stick with us and quietly guide how we handle our finances as adults. On the surface, personal finance seems simple. Income in, expenses out. But it's so much deeper than that. We don't just spend money. We spend our emotions. We spend on relief, on comfort, on managing our fears, and even on our sense of identity. When someone buys something they can't afford, it's rarely just about the item. It's often about feeling like they belong, rewarding themselves after a stressful day, or trying to feel a sense of control in a life that feels out of control. Then there's corporate finance. It might feel distant, but those boardroom decisions directly affect our lives, our wages, job security, and the prices we pay at the store. When a company prioritizes short-term profits, it can lead to layoffs. When they invest for the long term, entire communities can feel more secure. We don't see the decisions being made, but we definitely feel the results in our bank accounts. Public finance is even more invisible. Taxes fund our roads, schools, and emergency services. The frustration many feel comes from the fact that the benefits aren't always immediate or obvious. It's hard to feel connected to a system that feels so large and slow, even though it provides the foundation for our society. This all ties into what's called behavioral finance. Simply put, humans aren't rational with money. We're wired to fear loss more than we enjoy a gain. A stock market drop feels personal and scary, while a raise can feel temporary. These mental shortcuts that once helped us survive can now lead to stress and impulsive financial decisions. Across all these areas, from our personal spending to the global economy, one thing is constant. People are seeking security, dignity, and a sense of choice. Money is just the tool we use to try and get there. Our financial behavior isn't just about numbers. It's a response to our lived experiences, our hopes, and our fears. When we understand this human side of money, the numbers start to make a lot more sense. Why do we make money decisions that we know aren't good for us? It's not because we're bad with money. It's because we're human. Think about it. When do you actually make financial choices? Rarely is it in a calm, quiet moment with a spreadsheet open. It's usually between meetings, late at night, or right in the middle of an emergency. Our brains are already drained. We're tired, stressed, and distracted. This is the gap where our real financial behavior lives the space between what we want to do and what we actually do when life gets messy. Scarcity completely changes how our brain works. When money is tight, our focus narrows to the immediate problem. The bill due tomorrow, the next paycheck, that urgent expense. Long-term goals like saving for retirement don't just vanish because we stop caring. They vanish because our brain is hardwired for survival. And right now, survival means getting through the week. This is why financial stress is so exhausting. It eats up all our mental energy until even small choices feel overwhelming. This isn't a personal failure. It's a very human response to uncertainty. In the United States, even for those who seem comfortable, income can be surprisingly unstable. A single, unexpected medical bill or a car repair can undo months of careful planning. So, many people prioritize flexibility over optimization. They keep cash accessible instead of investing it for growth. On paper, it looks inefficient. In real life, it feels safe. Then there's debt. Debt isn't just a number on a statement. It's a promise that our future time and effort already belong to the past. It's no wonder so many of us avoid looking at our balances. The shame can be overwhelming. Credit cards become more than just a way to buy things. They become a tool to smooth out life's sharp financial pains, delaying the problem for another day. The financial systems we use are also designed to shape our behavior. Automatic payments are convenient, but they make our spending invisible. By now, pay later services spread out the cost, but they also dull our awareness of how much we're really spending. It all happens because modern finance is built to remove friction, and while less friction feels good in the moment, it changes our relationship with money over time. Add social comparison to the mix. The constant pressure to keep up with the homes, cars, and vacations we see online. It's easy to feel like our financial struggles are a personal secret, but here's the most important part. Most people aren't reckless. They're adaptive. They're responding to a system that often rewards short-term comfort and punishes long-term patience. Understanding this doesn't excuse bad habits, but it does reframe the problem. Financial behavior isn't just about discipline. It's about psychology, environment, and system design. When we see the whole picture, we can stop asking, why don't people do better? And start asking, why is the system making it so hard? We feel proud. When they don't, we feel like failures. As we get older, time itself becomes a huge financial factor. Future income feels less certain, and our health becomes less predictable. Every financial decision carries more weight because there's simply less time to recover from a mistake. This doesn't always make us more cautious. Sometimes, it makes us avoid the problem altogether. We ignore our accounts, delay decisions, or just stick with old habits because change feels too risky. Through all these stages, one thing stays true. People use money to manage their anxiety about the future. Some save obsessively. Some spend to feel better. Some try to control every single penny, while others just let go completely. These aren't random behaviors. They're shaped by our past experiences, our level of trust in the system, and how fair that system has felt to us. What's often missing from financial advice is compassion. Numbers might be neutral, but the systems built around them are not. Finance isn't just a set of tools. It's a deeply personal, lived experience. It reflects how safe we feel, how much control we believe we have, and what the future looks like from where we're standing right now. That's why you can't separate financial behavior from our age, our environment, and our emotions. It's all part of the same human story. At the end of your financial journey, what do you find? It's usually not a crystal clear sense of certainty. Instead, it's perspective. You start to see money less as a scorecard and more as a record of your ability to adapt. What do you remember most? Probably not the exact numbers on your statements. You remember the feelings, the intense stress during those lean years, the huge relief of a small win, the fear when everything felt uncertain, and that quiet, deep pride of just getting through it all. Money decisions tend to blur together, but these emotional landmarks stay approach risk for the rest of our lives. On a larger scale, this collective memory is crucial. Entire generations carry shared financial scars or optimism. Think about it. Recessions, housing booms, sudden inflation, job insecurity. These experiences don't just vanish when things get... When we talk about money, we often get stuck on the numbers. Savings, debt, investments, balance sheets. But what really lingers after those numbers fade isn't the total. It's a sense of where we stand. People want to know their place in the system. Am I moving forward, just treading water? Or maybe even slipping backward without realizing it? Finance has become a compass for locating ourselves in society, a personal signal of our progress or vulnerability, even if that signal isn't always accurate. In our daily lives, money often acts as a translator between our effort and the outcome. We work hard, we save, we make sacrifices, and we expect to see some kind of result for all that work. When that result feels delayed or just doesn't make sense, frustration builds. That gap, that emotional distance between the effort we put in and the reward we get, is where distrust is born. It's not just about having less, it's about feeling like what you're doing doesn't matter anymore. Over time, many of us start to adjust our expectations instead of our behavior. We redefine what enough really means. It's not about giving up. It's about finding peace through clarity. Financial ambition softens into a kind of financial realism. The goal shifts from trying to win the game to just staying in it with our dignity intact. This quiet recalibration is something we rarely talk about, yet it defines how we navigate our financial lives as we get older. Technology has only sped this up. Money moves faster than ever, but our understanding hasn't kept pace. Our bank accounts update instantly. News cycles blast us with fear and uncertainty. We see how we stack up against others in real time. The emotional speed of finance has increased dramatically, even if our actual lives haven't changed much. For many, the healthiest response is to create some emotional distance. Check accounts less. React less. Stop letting money define who we are. It might look like we're disengaged, but it's really a form of self-preservation, a way to protect our mental health. We're learning that trying to constantly optimize every penny comes at a cost. And this reveals a simple truth. Most people don't just want to be rich in some abstract way. What they really want is predictability. They want breathing room. They want the security of knowing that one mistake won't bring everything crashing down. When financial systems support that feeling of security, trust grows. When they undermine it, stress and anxiety fill the void. This is why understanding finance requires more than just literacy. It requires listening. Listening to how people talk about money when they feel safe and not judged. Listening to what they're afraid of losing, not just what they hope to gain. When you listen, you see a pattern. People adapt, constantly and quietly. The real story of finance isn't about control, it's about adjustment. And in that adjustment, you find the human behavior that truly drives everything. Thanks for watching.